Hey guys, what's up? It is New Year's upon us again. In 2015, it was had some goods, had some bads, had some mediocres, and it had a kind of like a swirly effect, like a stew that you put together and then you ate. So basically, this is my recap of how my 2015 went and looking forward to the 2016. So this year was an amazing year because it was my last year of school. I finally, after 10 years, decided to go back to school for something that I love to do, which was photography. And luckily enough, I did quite well. I was on the dean's list all 4 semesters and had one of the highest GPAs and won, not one, but 2 DOS awards at my final show. One for Best in Show and one for what was the other award for? Oh yeah, the Nikon Imaging Award of the Year, which was ironic because I don't use Nikon equipment. However, I did get some cash on that, so that was awesome. But yeah, it was. It's been a really good year, and there's been, as I said, some ups and downs. The worst of the year being the life lessons, which actually are good in a way. My major life lesson that I learned this year was do not chirp people on social media, because regardless of how you think you're being humorous, or regardless if you're thinking you're being amazing or funny or this or this or this or this, people always take offense. So the big thing that you have to really learn, and I learned at 33 years old, or 32 at the time, was that not everyone has the same sense of humor as you do. Not everyone gets sarcasm, and you can actually lose people in your life because of the way that you act. And it's not the best thing to do to kind of call people out also on social media, just because they're not answering any of your messages or wanting to talk to you. So life lesson, a couple friends out of my life because of it. But overall, very positive feedback from people telling me, you know what, we really respect the fact that you're very open. You just need to learn how to just kind of migrate it a little bit more professionally. So, lesson learned. I also, the other big thing that I learned this year was to kind of let go of a lot of that anxiety that I had over the years and growing up. And a big thing that a lot of people know about me, but maybe you don't, is that I have been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed at the age of 30, and I started taking medication for it. And the positive with that is that I can live life without really being anxious in situations where I would have potentially not been able to handle myself or been able to take the feedback or criticism that people gave me. I'm now able to turn around and say, hey guys, I'm really, really loving that you're giving me a little bit back. It's really cool. So that was a major, major positive for me this year. Another thing that I really respect and learned was how, how as a person I'm, you know, can be quite independent without having to worry about being in a relationship. Um, it it's been weird because the last 2 years I've really literally had no time for anything. I've basically either worked full time as a bartender, or was in school full time, or was shooting, and it was a very good life lesson to how this my career that I want to pursue is going to treat me. So it's been very tough, but I kind of love it. Like the great thing about this is that I I learned that I can actually just do 60 different projects at once and actually succeed. And I've met some really really cool people. I've shot a lot of really cool things, which actually leads me into the positives and the great things that have happened this year. So number one, graduated. Bam. You know what? You're never too old to go and do something that you love. Good on you, Marc. But I also, the support my family gave me, the love they gave me, they were so supportive, and so helpful, and were there for me, and my friends too, because they understood that I just did not have the time a lot of the time, and I really tried to make time for them. At the same time, it's just, you're in and out of things. Secondly, I was published in 2 national magazines this year. And that's a big deal. Like, one, I have to give a shout out to James Jefferson, who is the head of Black Book Lifestyle, who got me a gig with H&M in L Canada. The photos that I shot at this event were featured nationally in the magazine, and my name was published in the magazine, which is really, really cool. The second was Photo Ed magazine, so I really want to give a shout out to Deneen Rickson, who is the coordinator of my program, who used my images to represent my educational facility, Algonquin College. Um, and they basically, what they do, this magazine, is they highlight the biggest talent in the country at that time, and why these institutions are so good at what they do for photography. So my images were used, and I was lucky because a lot of people just got this like little paragraph, but we got a full page, and just to see my name on this full page ad, phenomenal. Just to see it like representing my college. And since then, they've been really supportive, Photo Ed, and been sending me, the details of what they're upcoming, and potentially what other opportunities they have. As well, I've been really fortunate to work with amazing agencies like AMTI in Ottawa, and MIM, and they've been really helpful. Like Helena Alexis, who's an up and coming actress who's amazing. I just shot her recently and she has really been, super supportive of me, and that kind of stuff really has meant the world to me, because it kind of proves to you that you can really believe in yourself, and that the people that will look at your talent and say, yeah, I really believe in you too. That being said, I'm not trying to sound arrogant to the fact, but actually, because I work my ass off, it's kind of nice to get a little bit of recognition. I'm still kind of getting into the, oh, shucks, when I get it, but it's really, really cool. So the other downfall that kind of came with this year, but it was actually a kind of a mixed blessing, is you'll notice probably my surroundings, and people who've known me for years know that this is actually my mother's house. And I was supposed to move to Toronto in September. I had a job lined up with marketing for a beer company. And 3 weeks before it was supposed to happen, they contacted me and said, yeah, we don't actually really need anyone right now, but keep trying. They said, like, look, we thought about it, but we actually don't really need anyone in this kind of position right now. So why don't you just keep applying, see if we've got anything going on. And I was like, that's cool. Maybe I'll still move. Maybe I'll just make the connections. And ironically, 3 days after, I was supposed to move. 3 days after this had happened, I got a call from the person I was supposed to move in with, and they were going to sublet one of the rooms in their apartment, and they told me that because it was a condo building and because it was a board approved thing, they were not allowed to sublet. So he actually had to let go of his apartment, and therefore I didn't have a place to live. So it was kind of like the universe telling me, you're not supposed to be there right now. And subsequently, I was supposed to be in Elmer with my parents, my mother actually, for 6 weeks. And she turned around to me and she said, look, you haven't really been, around family for a while. You've been really busy. Why don't you just stay with me until the spring, for 6 months, sort yourself out, you've already got a job in Ottawa. You might as well not find another apartment and pay rent, because I know you want to go off and do amazing things. And actually, it's been amazing. This is the thing. My mom, I hate using the word blessed about these. Like, I hate using the hashtag blessed, but biggest person this year, my mother, who has just been so supportive. My dad has been really supportive too, and he's helped me a lot this year, but my mom has put me up. We've got to reconnect. We've got to get to know each other. We're living together as adult roommates. As being a young 20-something, a teenager, I was not the easiest person to live with and get along with, and we kind of were like this. But now it's kind of nice to make a friend out of a parent, and to have that kind of, come home and have that kind of emotional support, and just feel really, really lucky. And I've really loved it. I mean, the only thing that's kind of a bother is that I live really far outside the city. But overall, it's a great lifestyle, and it's kind of getting me, my ball rolling and my mind going, and saying, hey, I'm going to get this stuff done. So what's the next step for 2016? I guess that's the the point of this whole thing, is that in 2016 I'm planning on moving. I'm hoping, I've been working in education now for 4 months, and it's gone really, really well. I've actually found a niche that I like doing. It has nothing to do with my field. However, it pays well, and it gets me a chance to give back. I get to work with students on a daily basis, and I get to work on program development, and I get to work with several businesses in the city, helping students gain employment experience, and it's been phenomenal. And I'm thinking this might be a platform for me to kind of work my photography in as well, like, you know, working within the arts industries and working with businesses to help students in the arts, because I feel like this is an important, because when I was an art student, when I went to university, I never had any support in terms of getting a job afterwards. It was kind of like, okay, bye-bye, you're graduated, bye-bye, we took your 12 grand. And now it's kind of like I have this opportunity to kind of give back. So I also am really passionate about working in charity this year. I really want to work with homeless youth and helping to get money donated to them. Uh, I've got these little side projects. Like people will talk to me about, maybe publishing my photos into a book because my friend has a publishing company. It's like all these things that kind of go chitter chatter chitter. It all is dependent on if I'm going to stay in the city or not. I'm probably at least going to stay until the spring. But Toronto still calls me every so often. Calls my name. Vancouver still calls me every so often. Calls my name. I really want to go there. I have New York. Would be a dream. But for now, I'm just kind of enjoying what I have. Working hard, hoping to work harder, hoping to gain more experience, hoping to find people like you guys, just to work with, have a positive working experience, and just enjoy life. And I'm so thankful for all of you, all of my friends, everyone who supported me, everyone who's given me love. You guys have made my life just amazing. I honestly couldn't have done any of this without your support. And coming from a guy like me, who I know I could act like a jackass, I can be emotional, I can be a little bit wild, I can be boring, I can be this, I can that. I'm like, there's like 60 different sides to the Marc coin, but I just appreciate every single one of you who has been there for me, as little or as big as you have, because every little nook and cranny makes a difference. So with that in mind, I just wanted to wish you Happy New Year, season's beatings, and make a consolidated effort to try to get together in the new year, because it would be really great to kind of catch up with a lot of people that I haven't seen in a really long time. Okay, well, peace and love, and graces, and graces. I will maybe do another video soon. I'm kind of liking this. I kind of like being an honest, open guy. Merry New Year, Happy Christmas, Chanukah Wanukah, and a crazy Kwanzaa.